Leave whenever you want.
You don't want me to not leave.
No, you're absolutely nobody is in there.
Yeah, it's fine. It works out.
Okay, I promise. If you end up in the video, you get your money back. Okay, here we go. So you're in the group. You're in the group chat. You just. Okay, maybe you should join the group.
I
our group
should.
too. Yeah. Okay.
I know that. I just know that you have classes Sunday and the time.
Yeah. But I have a good proof that it's better to be in the group chat because it's been probably 6 months since you came.
Maybe even longer. Like last time I saw you, like anyone from this official was for.
Wow. Okay. If you came to my house on Purim, so
I was there.
I wouldn't know.
Right. It's true.
Okay, here we go. So we are learning today about the month of Kislev. Okay, and this is and it's so cool. As I was preparing this class, so I noticed that this is actually such a natural continuation from the story that we just finished, the Masami B'tachon. You'll see how it's mamish, like very Hashem knew that this is the way to prepare us, to get us ready for the month of Kislev. So when we're talking about the month, we're talking about the energies of the month, the spiritual energies of the month. So there's many different ways that we want to try to analyze and try to understand what is the sparks that we're trying to tap into during this month of Kislev. And so it really starts obviously with the name. The name is a beautiful way of tapping into what is the essence of something. The Shem, it says by people, so people's name has a very deep connection to their essence. It says that in the word neshama, so Shem is half of the word neshama. So your name carries within it your essence. So in the name of the month, it carries within it the essence of the month. What's very particularly interesting about the names of the months is that the names of the month actually aren't from Hebrew. They aren't from Lashon HaKodesh. That in the Torah, so when it refers to the months, it doesn't give the names at all. It's just Chodesh HaRishon, Chodesh HaSheni, Chodesh HaShlishi, etc. And the names of the months that we have, that Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, so that it comes from Galut Bavel. It comes from during the first exile when we were in Babylonia. So when Ezra came back after Babylonia for 7 years, so when he came back, so he took with him the names that they had used in Babylon, which is the Akkadian names, which is connected to Aramaic, and those are the names that we know. Now, what's interesting is that these Akkadian/Aramaic names, so they were converted to Judaism by means of the fact that the Torah relates to them. The Torah respects these names, and in Daniel, in Ezra, in Megillas Esther, so it refers to these names of the month of Adar, of Cheshvan, of different names. So it refers to them in the Torah. So by doing so, the Torah is giving them value, is giving them weight, is giving them importance. So that tells us once it became Torah, so then it can be something that we can learn from, and it also becomes the essence of the month. Okay, so first we're talking about the name of the month, and then we'll go to other ways of analyzing what is the energy of the month, specifically from a very ancient book called, anybody know? This is originally part of a series that we were going on the energies of the month, but we haven't done it in a while. Cheshvan we skipped, Tishri we skipped. Okay, the last one we did was Av. So this is based on something called Sefer Yetzirah. Sefer Yetzirah is literally the book of formation, which is attributed to Avraham Avinu. Okay, the Avraham Avinu compiled secrets of the universe, and part of the secrets of the universe is the secrets of the alphabet. It's called formation. It's called formation because of an interesting Gemara that says that if you understand the secrets of the alphabet, so you will be able to create things. How can you create things? Because how did God create the world? By speech. Vayomer Elokim hi'or, vahi'or. So God created by speaking. And so when you speak with words. When you make words, words are made of letters. So if speech creates, so then that means that letters, which are the building blocks of speech, so they have in it the energy to create. So if you really understand the intricacies of the energies of the different letters, so then you have within you the secrets of creation. So that's why it says in the Gemara that there were certain sages that they were very poor, unfortunately, but every Friday, so they got together and they created a chicken or two with Sefer Tzira. So that's how they had the chicken soup on Shabbos. And if you're able, that's why it's called Sefer Tzira. It's called formation. Like it's able to form things. So in the Sefer Tzira, so when it talks about the alphabet, so one of the things that it talks about is that the alphabet is actually related to the calendar. Specifically, that each month has a very specific letter that is connected to it. That this is the letter which is shining during this month. So it says that because it starts with the letter, so it talks about the months, and because it talks about the months, so it says that the months, besides having a letter, so they also have a constellation. This is the idea of astrology. Okay, so if anybody ever tells you that astrology is a Goyish thing, astrology is not a Jewish thing, so it's not so accurate. That Judaism does believe in astrology, and the source is really from the Sefer Tzira, among other things. But Sefer Tzira is probably the most ancient book that we have. Right? There's no there is no books from the time of Avraham Avinu. It's like when we're talking about the Gemara. The Gemara is, I don't know, 1,000 years later. It's like Avraham Avinu is really, really old. So it's already from this, but the Gemara also talks about, the Gemara says that the person was born in this constellation, so he's going to have a tendency towards aggression. The Gemara certainly believes in the concept of astrology, but the source is actually in the Sefer Tzira. Okay, so it talks about the different constellations. The constellation of Kislev is Sagittarius, yes. Okay, I'm surprised it took so long. Usually the people that come to these classes are the people that are obsessed with astrology. You know, those people that like the first thing, like after they speak to you for 2 minutes, they say, "What's your sign? What's your sign? Okay, and your rising sign and your sun sign." So I guess they're waiting for the recording. So we're talking about Sagittarius, and also, so the Sefer Tzira says that it has a sense. Every month has a certain sense which is connected to that month, and when it says senses, so it extends the concept of senses a little bit more than we're used to. It's like we have the normal senses. We have sight and smell and hearing, but it also has laughter. Who knows what laughter is? For others about laughter. And Kislev it's my favorite month. It's about sleep. Okay, so it has a certain, so the sense which is connected to Kislev is the sense of sleep. So we're going to become expert sleepers. Okay. The end. Bye bye. Everybody go sleep. Okay, so there's also the Arizal connects this with the tribe. He divides the 12 tribes according to the 12 months, and the tribe which is connected to the month of Kislev is the tribe of Binyamin. Okay, so we have the name Kislev, we have the word Kislev, we have the letter Samech, and we have the sense of sleep, and we have the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, so that's how we're going to try to analyze the month of Kislev. Okay, so let's start with the name. Let's start with Kislev. So the word kesel. So what does the question is, what does the word kesel mean? So the Tzadok HaKohen in his book of Pri Tzadok, so he talks about the name Kislev, the word kesel, and he brings two interesting sources that connect the word Kislev with bitachon, with trust. Okay, there's a pasuk in Iyov that says, "Im samti zahav kisli, v'leketem amarti mivtachim." That's talking about a person that puts his trust in riches, puts his trust in wealth. So and he uses the word kisli. He uses it as a synonym to mivtachim, to bitachon. And it brings another pasuk in Mishlei, "Ki Hashem yeh b'kislecha." Hashem will be your trust. Okay, so he uses the word kesel as a synonym for trust. Okay. Now, there's also an interesting. There's another word that this sharash ksil, that kesel ksil. So this is actually a normal word. Like it's abnormal to use kesel as a synonym for bitachon, for trust, but actually ksil has a normal translation, and we've talked about this numerous times. That anybody know what a ksil is? Ksil b'chosha cholech. Shalom. So a ksil is the opposite of a chacham. Ksil is a fool. Ksil is a fool. So if ksil is a fool, so obviously that has something to do with Kislev. And if the word Kislev is coming from the word kesel, so it must be that there's something about Kislev which is about being a little bit foolish. Okay, so I guess some people would say that it means that there's a certain energy of foolishness in the world, so you have to be extra careful not to listen. But that's too Litvish for us. So we will go with the approach that in Kislev you need a little bit of foolishness. We need to try to incorporate foolishness into our lives a little bit. Okay, so the first thing, in order to understand everything about Kislev, in order to just really make a background, a certain context, that everything is going to make sense. So what's on a very practical and a very realistic level, so Kislev is a month of darkness. Okay, the month of Choshech. And I want to share with you a midrash that the Maharami Prague brings, and we spoke about this a little bit on Shalshudas and when it was right after the beginning of the month. So the Maharami brings a midrash that at the beginning of time, when Adam HaRishon was first in the world, so he noticed that the days were getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Okay, he noticed that the daylight was getting less, that the sun started setting earlier and earlier. Okay, and that was a scary realization for him, because he realized that you need the sun to live. He realized that we need light, we need warmth, and if the world's going to be cold, so we're just going to be extinct. We're going to freeze over. And so he thought that that's it. The world was coming to an end. The sky is falling. So he was really, really worried. And then suddenly, so things started making a turnaround. Suddenly things started to get a little bit, and from the place of the darkest days, so then things started to turn around, and daylight started to extend, daylight started to get larger, and light returned to be victorious over darkness. Okay? So the Maharal makes a very beautiful cheshbon that we're talking about the change of the seasons. So there's 4 seasons in the year. So every season has 3 months, right? So now, when was the beginning of time? When was the world created? So the world was created in Aleph Tishrei, but that was really the 6th day of creation. So a simple calculation brings you that the first day of creation was really Chav Hei Elul. Okay? Some people celebrate Chav Hei Elul. It's the beginning of the creation of the world. So that's the commemorating the day that Hashem said by Hior, that let there be light, that was the beginning of everything, the Big Bang. The Big Bang happened on Aleph Tishrei, okay, on Chav Hei Elul, okay. So if the world starts on Chav Hei Elul and every season has 3 months, so says the Maharal Prague that when is the change of seasons? When is it that things were starting to get darker and darker and darker and darker and darker? So until it just stopped. So when does it stop? When does it get to the darkest? It gets the darkest on Chav Hei Kislev. Okay, 3 months after Chav Hei Elul is Chav Hei Tishrei, Chav Hei Cheshvan, Chav Hei Kislev. Chav Hei Kislev is the turnover when things stop getting darker. Okay? And that's that when he got to Chav Hei Kislev, they said, "Oh, thank you Hashem, that the light is going to be victorious." Okay, so it's already that from the beginning of time, from the very first Chav Hei Kislev, says the Maharal. So the day of Chav Hei Kislev, which is obviously Chanukah, so the day of Chav Hei Kislev was commemorating that this is the time that light is winning over darkness. Okay, so everything about the month of Kislev is that things seem gloomy, things seem dark, until you get to Chav Hei. And then Chav Hei thinks, so suddenly there's a turnaround. Okay, and so on a very simple level, so we're talking about bitachon, we're talking about trust. So obviously, when do you need to have trust? You don't need to have trust when everything is going good, when everything is going successful. So then there's no need for trust. Trust is there's we'd like to say that lahagid b'boker chasdecha, that in the morning we tell Hashem about His kindness, and we have emunah, we have trust at night, meaning that day and night represents, the day represents when we have clarity, at night represents when everything is cloudy, everything is unclear, everything is just foggy, messed up. And so when things are going good, so thank you Hashem. When things are going muddy, when things are going cloudy, so then I have bitachon, I have trust that I know that right now it's dark, that right now things seem really messed up, but I trust that they're going to turn over. Okay, and that's why the month of bitachon, the month of trust, is necessarily in the month of darkness. Okay, that's the only way that it makes sense. The only way that it would make sense is to have bitachon when things are murky. Okay, there's no. It's a person says that yeah, I have amazing bitachon. Tell me like how's your life going? So he says like yeah, I'm actually a multi-billionaire, and actually I have all my everybody's healthy, everybody's happy. It's not true. There's nobody. The billionaires they have as many tzaras as we do. Nobody should think that if you want to have a good life, you should become a billionaire. But if everything is good, when everything is good, so then there's no room for bitachon. Okay, about bitachon is a person that I have no idea where I'm going to have money for tomorrow, but I'm okay. I know that it's going to work out. Okay? There's a story of the time of, I think it was in the time of the Alshich. I think Alshich, in the time of the Arid. There's a nice with the Alshich that the Alshich was giving some shir about bitachon, about trusting Hashem, and that you just have to trust in Hashem, and Hashem will take care of you. And there was this little peasant that was like listening by the window, and he heard the Alshich talking about bitachon, and he says, "Whoa, that's so true. It's so true. Hashem loves us. Hashem's going to take care of us. I don't have to. Why should I bother working? I don't need to work. Hashem's going to take care of us." And so he didn't open up a shop that day. And then And the next day also he didn't open the shop, and then Thursday afternoon, so I don't know, some like right in front of his house, so some horse just toppled over and killed the owner and like threw his wallet into his house, and the next thing he knew, he had like tons and tons of money, and he went and bought Shabbos things, and he went to thank the Ashach. Thank you so much for that Vatara about bitachon. It really works. I decided that I can, and like, but so whatever. Then his Hasidim, then his students asked him like, how come he's just a peasant and his bitachon works and our bitachon doesn't work, and whatever. So, but there's no place for bitachon when you have enough money. Bitachon is only when things are dark. There's an amazing thing about when it comes to Purim. When it comes to Purim, so one of the things about Purim is it says you have to drink so much on Purim until you don't know the difference between Avraham and Baruch Mordechai. Okay, so there's a crazy thing that the Arizal teaches that on Purim, so there's an idea which is revealed, there's an energy which is revealed, which is called Baruch Haman Avraham Mordechai. There's something that the whole year, so it's Avraham and Baruch Mordechai. But on Purim, so you have to get so drunk that you're able to reveal that Baruch Haman Avraham Mordechai. So what's up with that? So once heard a crazy thing, that when there was this decree, that they were supposed to be killed. So what did Esther say? That everybody should fast and everybody should daven. That the davening is mamish part of the narrative. Part of the story of Purim is that they cried out to Hashem, please save us. And it's like divrei hatzamot v'zakatam. It's written down that you have to write down in Megillas Esther that they fasted, that they cried out to Hashem, and Hashem answered the prayer. So the prayer is part of how the story happened. Okay, so this decree came out. They were all supposed to die, and they were all crying out to Hashem. And so when they cried out to Hashem, that feeling of complete dependence, complete connection, they knew for a fact that tomorrow I might not be alive. Tomorrow I might not be alive. That there was like in a couple of days there's supposed to be a decree that we're all supposed to be killed, and this might be by my last day on earth. Hashem, please do us a miracle. So when you're standing before God, when you know that your life is mamish, not secure, so those prayers are so amazing. Those prayers, that feeling of closeness is unparalleled, is unsurpassed. There is nothing in the world like that feeling of closeness that you have when your life is really, really in danger. And so they recognized, they appreciated this closeness to Hashem to such a degree that when Mordechai saved them, so they said, "Oh, Mordechai, thank you. I really, really do appreciate that you saved our lives. There's just one thing that I miss. One thing that I missed, that when we were just crying out that Ana Hashem Hashiana, when we're crying out Hashem, please save us, that I felt so good. I felt so close. That's something that, as much as the celebration parties are awesome, as much as it's awesome to feel saved, and also, as much as it's awesome that our lives are not in danger, but I miss that closeness. That was crazy, no? So this is the only way to have bitachon. The only way to have bitachon is when things are backwards, when things are dark. Okay, so the darkness of Kislev is the purpose of the darkness of Kislev is that we should be able to turn the darkness into bitachon, into trust in Hashem, to knowing that just because it's dark, we're not afraid of the dark. Right? So we don't really have our night lights to keep us unafraid. Okay, so the first thing about Kislev is the bitachon of Kislev, which is specifically in the darkness. Okay, so which brings us to the letter of the month of Kislev, And like we said, the letter of the month of Kislev is the letter Samach. Letter Samach. Okay, so the Gemara in Brachos. So when it relates to the alphabet, so it makes note of the fact that Samach specifically comes after the letter Nun. Okay, Samach specifically comes after the letter Nun. Okay, Nun was the month of Cheshvan. So the Gemara discusses the month of Samach. So it talks about the Samach as it relates to the month of the letter Nun, and it says as follows. The Gemara is talking about Ashrei. It says, "Lama lo nizkra Nun b'tehila leDavid." Why is Nun not mentioned in Ashrei? In Parak Kuf Mem Hey and Tehillim, b'pnei sheyesh ba nefilasan shal Yisrael, because Nun represents nefila. Okay? Nun represents falling. Okay, this is in the Nun Sofit specifically. The Nun Sofit is just it's a nefila. A nun is a nefila. Nun is a falling. So nun represents falling. So we didn't want to mention. We wanted to skip over the falling. But it says Mikol Makom Samcha David B'Ruach HaKodesh Shnemar Samech Hashem V'Chol Hanafim. That nevertheless, David HaMelech, when he was writing Tehillim, when he was writing Ashrei, so he supported the Nun in the pasuk of Samach, because he writes Samech Hashem L'chol Hanafim, that Hashem is the Samech, Hashem is the support, Hashem is the bitachon, is the trust of all those who fall. Okay, so the nun in the alphabet is actually hinted to in the Ashrei, in the pasuk of Samech, Samech Hashem L'chol Hanafim.
But it's backwards.
What do you mean? It's the pasuk actually skips it, but he hints to the fact that don't think we forgot about the nun. It's just we didn't give you your own spotlight.
I think it's funny. It's like backwards, saying how it is in the months too. Like Kislev, like Cheshvan is just backwards.
No, Cheshvan Kislev is straight. Cheshvan is nun.
Yeah.
And Kislev is Samach.
It's interesting the relationship.
So Samach necessarily comes after the Nun, meaning after the Nefila comes the fact that Hashem is Samech, that He supports you. That when you're falling, so Hashem is the one that helps you up. Hashem is the one that gives a hand and says, "It's okay. I'll help you up. I'll pull you out from whatever hell you're in," and that's what it means. Samech Hashem L'chol Hanafim. So this is why Kislev is the month of miracles. Okay, Kislev is the month of miracles. We also have Hanukkah and Purim. They're both holidays of miracles. However, there's a difference between the miracles of Kislev and the miracles of Purim. What's the difference between Hanukkah and Purim? That the Hanukkah is revealed miracles, is Nisim Gluyim, and Purim is Nisim Nistarim, is hidden miracles. Right? Because everything in Purim happens behind the scenes. Everything happens with politics. Everything happens with just happened to be that Esther was overcoming 100,000 soldiers. So Hanukkah is about Nisim Gluyim. Hanukkah is about revealed miracles that just think, wow, God, how do you do that? Right? And Purim is also miracles, but Purim is about the miracles that are clothed in nature. Okay, so when we're talking about Nisim, we're talking about the real miracles. We're talking about we want Hashem, we want you to just make it that the laws of nature won't talk to us. Right? That's the miracles that we're talking about. So that's Kislev. Okay, that's only Kislev. Kislev is more than any other month, but even more than Purim. So Kislev is the month of Mamish, the biggest miracles. Okay, so the word Nes is Nun Samach. Okay, the word Nes, the word for miracle is Nun Samach. That after you have nefila, after you have the falling, so then when everything seems like you're about to hit the bottom, so then right when you thought you were about to fall, so that's when Hashem saves you, and that's the samach. Okay, that's the nun, and then the samach. That's a nes. Okay, because you can't have a miracle without a nefila. You can't if everything is exciting, right? There's no if you're like writing a book and like if nobody is in danger, then it's a boring story. You know, if nobody is almost going to get in trouble, is almost going to get killed, is almost going to get kidnapped, there has to be some danger. There has to be some nefila, or else it's a boring story, right? So that every miracle is that requires that there's this nefila first. Okay, so that's why that in order to, and what's crazy is that what's special about Nisan? Special about Nisan is that it's through the nes that we see God, right? Like when everything is hunky dory, so then we don't see God, right? We only see God when there's a miracle. That when we're saved from something, you know, people like to replicate this. People appreciate near-death experiences, right? So they do bungee jumping and they do really fast racing cars and they wow, and they like when they're like they do like I don't know they do really stupid things. I'm like because they or parachuting and people can do really like not parachuting. I think is if you do it with the right equipment, so you won't die. But every once in a while, people do die. Yeah. Oh, wait, there's this new thing, right? This like these you look like a bat.
Squirrel, like base jumping.
Base jumping?
Gliding?
Yeah, gliding.
Paragliding?
Paragliding? Okay, yeah. And I think like there's like the highest amount of people dying from that, right? Yeah. So if you don't die, it's really, really exciting. So that's the like. So people like to replicate Nisim, like because they have to. How do I have the biggest nun? How do I have the biggest nun? So paragliding has the biggest nun because it's really easy to die. So if I, woo, I was really close. So then, when it's really, really close, when you see death when you look death in the eye, and you make it out alive, so then that was so cool. Then, so to have an ace. To have a nes requires a big nefila. Okay? Right? So the nefila of bungee jumping, the nefila of paragliding. So, but the only way for God to reveal Himself is only if there's a big nefila. It's only if there's a big fall.
Right? The only way up is down.
The only way up is down. Okay, nice. Okay, the only way for God to have a presence in the world is only if things go so bad that we're almost gone. Okay, so that's why the samach of Kislev has to come after Nun, has to come after the nefila of Nun. That the light of Hanukkah has to come after the darkness of Kislev. So this is the first idea of samach, and this is hinted to in the letter samach. This is hinted to in the picture. The picture of samach is obviously just a circle. So what's a circle? Circle it goes like this. So it starts over here, and then it goes down. And then it gets to the downest. Then you're at the downest. You're over here, you're at the downest. So what happens when you're at the downest? Then you start going up. Yes, that's the Samech Hashem B'chol Neftim. That when you think you're going down, so you thought that's the end. You thought I'm finished. And the secret of Samech is that no, just when you thought it couldn't get worse, so then that is when Hashem is going to save you. Okay, right after the Nun comes the Samech, like right after you get to the lowest place on the planet Earth, so then that's when the salvation comes. Yes, that's what the Samech is representing. That's the energy of Samech Hashem Chol Nefesh. So Reb Tzadok writes that there's also another another idea that the Samech is coming to teach, that the Samech is coming to relate, and that is, he says, if you look in the first time that the Samech appears in the Torah, so it says it's referring to the different it's referring to the different streams, the different rivers that were coming out into Gan Eden, and one of them is Pishon. It says Pishon is who has Sovev called Eretz HaChavila. So it goes. So Sovev, the word Sovev, that's the first Samach in the Torah. That's the first Samach. It's the first Samach in Ma'aseh Bereshis. So what does that tell us? It tells us about the essence of Samach is Sovev, okay, which is obviously also hinted to in the picture of the letter Samach. Samach is a circle, right? So it's about circle. What is circle? What is circle? So there's another word for circle that we have in Hebrew, and it's called Hakif or Makif. So the Tzaddik writes that this is a reference to a Kabbalistic idea, which is called Or Makif. Or Makif. Or Makif means the light which surrounds. Okay, meaning that there's two kinds of light. There's something called Or Pnimi, something called inner light, and something called Or Makif, which is surrounding light. Okay, what's the difference between inner light and surrounding light? So inner light is light that you can appreciate. Inner light is when you feel lit up, when you feel inspired, when you feel connection, when you feel close. Or Makif is something which is so great, or Makif is higher than Or Pnimi. It's so great that you can't feel it. It's so infinite. It's so infinite that it can't be related to. It's so infinite that there's nothing you can't do anything with it. It's like just a bright light that you can't stare at because it's just going to blind you. So it completely goes over your head. Okay, that's what Makif. Now, even though it completely goes over your head, but it is Makif. It does surround you, and so it says that because it's Makif you, because it surrounds you, so it does make a difference, a subconscious difference in your life, that you somehow feel that there is something around you that I don't like. Or Makif is that you go to some class, and it's you don't understand one idea that the person is sharing, but it just feels so good. I had this when there was a time that I was going to the classes of Rabbi Shimon Morgenstern. But he gives a class in Kabbalah, so I once thought that I was going to try to learn Kabbalah, and I went to his classes every night. It's really cool because the classes start at 1 in the morning. The classes are from 1 in the morning to 2:30 in the morning. So for 3 or 4 months, every night I was going to his shiur, and it was really like I understood like less than 1% of what he was saying.
Is there a special reason why it is?
Of course, there's a special reason, but I understood like nothing. I understood nothing from what he said, but it was just being in his presence. It was just like I felt like I was in paradise, just watching him, trying to make out the words. Also, my Yiddish isn't so great, so there was a lot of words I didn't even get what the word. I didn't even understand a lot of what he was saying. But besides that, just even if I would have understood every word, I wouldn't have understood what he was trying to say because he's very, very advanced and whatever. But just being with him, just sitting with him for an hour and a half every day was I felt like I was in paradise. I don't know what I just experienced, but I know that it somehow changed me for the better. That's Or Makif. Yeah, that's what it means, Or Makif. So there's Sukkah. Sukkah is about Or Makif. One of the energies of the mitzvah of Sukkah is that Sukkah it surrounds you. It's a light which surrounds you, that it doesn't penetrate you because it's so great, because it's so infinite, but it surrounds you, and by surrounding you, it's also affecting you subliminally. So this is the second idea of the letter Samech is that there's Or Makif. So So these two ideas of samach, one is the samach Hashem l'chal nafsin, that even when things are dark, even when things are bleak, so I still have trust. So this is connected to the Ramakiv, to the idea that the samach is the makiv, the thing that surrounds you, because how is it? This is something that Mamish talked about last week in the Ma'aseh B'Tachon, that how can a person manage when everything is dark, when everything is really backwards? So how does it? How can a person have trust? Right? Why should I be happy? Why should I be okay? Why should I not have anxiety? Explain to me why I shouldn't freak out. Okay, I just lost my job and I have to pay a mortgage and I have to buy food for Shabbos. And explain to me. You okay? Go. Sure. Tell me why I shouldn't be freaking out. Okay. Right. So how does it make any sense? How does it make any sense to have bitachon? Bitachon seems like the most stupid thing I could do. Okay. So the only reason the way it makes sense to have bitachon is because I know that there's such a thing called or makiv. I know that even when the light is not penetrating my life, even though when it's not shining inside, when the light is, when things are dark, when things are really bleak, but I know that it's only bleak because the light isn't penetrating, because it's so great. I know that there's always light. There's always light. Sometimes the light penetrates, sometimes the light is or makiv, but there's always light. There's always, it's mamish, that Hashem has always got my back. Sometimes it's so bright that I can't even see it. Okay, but there's no such thing as darkness. There's no such thing as darkness. There's light that is revealed, and there's light which is makiv. You know, it's hidden because it's so great. Okay, but there's no such thing as darkness. Darkness just means that the light is so great, so you can't feel it because it's just too bright. Okay. Now, this is mamish. This is mamish connected to the next idea, which is the idea of sleep. Okay, the idea of sleep. So we said that sleep is the sense which is connected to the month of Kislev. Now, so first of all, in sleep is expressed the idea of Samech Hashem L'chol Nafsin, because on a very simple level. So when a person starts the day with a lot of energy, well, once upon a time before we were sleep deprived, so you wake up in the morning and you're full of energy, right? So you're full of energy. Okay, after 3 or 4 coffees, so you're full of energy, and then you start the day. Okay, and then you go and you do your stuff and you run around and then you start getting a little bit more tired, until you're finished, right? Until you can't take it anymore. Okay, until you're Chaznish would on a regular basis. So he would work himself until he had no more energy. So once one of his students, came to at the end of his life, one of his students came to check on him, and he was sleeping on the floor next to his bed. And so he asked him. He was scared that he collapsed. He was scared that he had a heart attack. So he woke him up and asked him, Rabbi, are you okay? And so this Chaznish laughed, and he said, "Yeah, don't worry, it's fine. I'll tell you what happened. You know, I every night. So I learn at my desk, and I learn, and I know that I need to save enough energy to make it from my desk to my bed. So I learn until I have enough energy for, it's about 15 steps. So I save myself 15 steps. And so last night, so I sort of, I miscalculated. So I only saved myself enough energy for 7 steps. That's right. So a person like you work until you drop, okay? And then you drop, and then you're at 0, right? So what would make sense that what happens? Then you fall asleep, and then you die. right? That would make sense, right? If a person never knew what sleep was, person would just look from the outside, from the alien. The alien would look at us. So you would see that you work, you get more tired, and then you fall asleep. Then when you fall asleep, then you're dead, right? And then really what happens is what? It's the opposite. That you sleep, and then what sleep do? And then you're full of energy, right? So the sleeping, the being not there, the being zero, that if you and everybody knows that if you don't fall asleep, then you stay tired, right? So if you say, no, I need my 1%. I need my 1% of energy. I refuse to let go of my 1% of energy. Okay, so then you're never gonna get re-energized. You need to get to zero. You need to get to I am asleep. I have no energy. I can't move. Okay, like sleep paralysis, right? So that I need to get to my zero. If I don't get to my zero, I'm never going to get to 100. Okay? If I insist on having a little bit of energy, so I'm going to be tired the rest of my life. Okay. Okay. So the Samech Hashem L'chal Naflim is expressed in Shena, in sleep, because I never noticed that, that there's a girl's name Shena, because Shena in Yiddish means nice, means pretty. So I never thought of the fact that Shena also means sleep, because sleep is pretty. Oh, sleep is pretty. Yeah. So when you get if you insist on staying 1%, you're gonna be tired the rest of your life. Okay. Now, when you fall asleep, in order to fall asleep, so you can't sleep unless you have bitachon. You can't sleep unless you have trust. Okay, a person with a lot of anxiety, it's hard for them to fall asleep. Okay, some people specifically, so they it's hard for them to go to sleep because when you're asleep, you're very vulnerable, right? And like when you can't sleep with one eye open, right? So like with that, when you're asleep, so then somebody could attack you, somebody could hurt you, right? So the thing holding us back from falling asleep, the thing that's holding us back from falling asleep is that we refuse to trust that everything's going to be okay. You can't, unless you have bitachon, unless you have trust that everything's going to be okay. So you won't be able to just let go and just fall asleep, and you won't be able to become energized. Okay? So that's number one. That's on a very simple level. Now, there's another idea in sleep, and that is that what we do when we sleep, hopefully, we dream. Okay? So the dreaming is a good thing. So the person that doesn't dream, so it's a bad sign.
It's not sleeping.
If a person, that's a good way not to have dreams. But if a person sleeps without dreams, that's also a bad sign. Okay? So
Bad sign of what?
it's a bad sign that you're not connected. You're not connected. The dreams.
You mean if you don't remember the dreams, or if you don't dream?
Yeah, how would you know?
How would you know?
Okay, that's a good point. It doesn't. You don't need to remember the dreams. If you would be dreaming and not remember the dreams, then you're also okay. Okay, meaning that if you enter a state that your mind is producing these ideas, so the person doesn't have dreams at all, so that says that's not good. It's not good. Why is it not good? Because the only way to enter REM sleep, the only way to enter dream sleep is to turn your brain off. Okay? The only way that you can connect with this level of consciousness, which is called dreams. That's why all the dreams in the Torah, they all are in the parshios of Kislev. Okay, just last week we had this week we have the dream of Yaakov, and he has the dream of the ladder of the angels, and then we have the dream of Yosef, and we have the two dreams of Yosef, the two dreams of Paro, and all the dreams of the Torah. It's all happening It's all happening. So what's a dream? So a dream is two things. A dream is, first of all, a dream is a little bit of a prophecy. The sense is that you're being connected to some higher ideas from a higher world, and also a dream is just your subconscious, right? It's also true. It's also true that the person's subconscious, the person's deepest aspirations, deepest fears, they come out in their dreams. That's part of some people that they're scared to fall asleep. It's because they're scared of themselves. They're scared of that they know that I'm so just full of fears that if I have to be alone with myself, with my deepest, like as long as I'm awake, so I can put up these guards, I can put up these protection. But like when I'm asleep, so then I'm vulnerable again. So then I'm vulnerable to my own fears. So I'm refusing to fall asleep because so a person that's so when a person sleeps, a person dreams, and this is the second element of Shena, being expert sleepers that we're trying to become a PhD in sleeping. So
we're more connected to the
Olympic sleepers. Okay.
Are we more connected when we're sleeping?
So when you're dreaming, you're connected to a higher consciousness. Okay. So now the only way to connect to this consciousness of sleep, the consciousness of dreams, is only if your rational brain turns off. Okay, and this goes back to the first thing that we said today, or maybe the second thing, that part of the meaning of the word Kislev is from the word ksil, from the word ksil, which means a fool. Okay, meaning that Kislev, we're trying to be a little bit foolish. Okay, there's a pasuk in Mishlei. There's a pasuk in Mishlei that says that yakar michachma ma'at sechlut. Yakar michachma ma'at sechlut. So there's, what's it mean? It says that more precious than chachma, than intellect, is ma'at sechlut, is a little bit of foolishness. Okay, so to be completely transparent, so there are perushim in Mishlei. Sorry, this isn't Kohelet. No, this is Mishlei. That there are perushim in Mishlei say that what it means is that foolishness is so bad that even a little bit of foolishness is, it says yakar also can mean heavy. So it's heavier than a lot of wisdom. A little bit of foolishness is heavier than a lot of wisdom. So if I tell you wisdom for an hour, and then somebody says a little bit of foolishness to say that, oh yeah right, so that foolishness is heavier than a lot of wisdom. Okay, that's one meaning, that's one explanation, that the pasuk is actually talking to downplay foolishness. But Rav Kook has a Torah in Orot HaKodesh where he writes about ma'at zichlut, that a little bit of foolishness, and how it's critical in life to go through life with a little bit of foolishness. And this is mamish what we were speaking about last week. This is mamish the secret of the Ma'aseh Bitachon, that life is too important to be taken seriously. Okay, that what? Ma'at zichlut. That there's a little bit of foolishness, meaning that if you're always thinking, if you're always going to be serious, so then you're going to miss out. Okay, if you're always thinking, first of all, you're going to be a nervous wreck. Okay, first of all, that you won't be able to enjoy, you won't be able to succeed, you won't be able to be your best. Okay, if you're going to think about all the things that it makes sense for me to be scared of, so then you're never going to do anything, and then you failed, and then you lost, right? So you need a little bit of sichlut. Now that's why it says a little bit of sichlut, a little bit of foolishness. Like nobody should come out of this class and think, okay, so Rav Kook says that we should be really, really foolish. No, you shouldn't. It's not good to be really foolish. It's good to be a little bit foolish. What's it mean to be a little bit foolish? It means not to overthink. That just because people are being rational, just because people are using their intellect, doesn't mean that that's a wise way to live life. So this is what was in the context of last week. This is what we're talking about, laughing through life. Okay, laughing through life means being able to laugh at yourself, being able to laugh at how it's humorous, how everything I was working for the past 5 years just flushed away, just crumbled, and then whoa, like I just lost my job and I missed my bus and everything and whoa, like that's so hilarious. And if I the talent to be able to laugh through life is to have this ma'at zichlut, to have this little bit of foolishness, to be able to take life with a grain of salt, to take life, okay, if I'm going to be so serious that but do you know how much time, do you know how much money but if I you better do well on this test, because if you don't do well on this test, think about how much money you have wasted. Think about how much time you have wasted. You're going to have to start from scratch. Do you know? And then I show up to the test, and I can't even write. I can't. So that's why, in order to succeed in life, you need this ma'at zichlut. Okay, this is this ma'at zichlut. This is the only way to succeed. This is the only way that we enter the state of dreams. This is only the only way that we can really succeed in entering this higher consciousness, the consciousness of nevuah, the consciousness of or makif. The only way that we can enter this higher consciousness is only if we a little bit turn off our rational brains, turn off our conscious brains. Okay, so this is the idea of Shena. So now, this is also connected to the tribe of Binyamin. Okay, Binyamin, which is the tribe which is connected to the month of Kislev. So we know that when Binyamin was born, so Rachel Imenu passed away. So she knew that she was dying. And so as she was dying, she called Binyamin Ben Oni. And it says that Yaakov called Binyamin Binyamin. Okay? So he changed his name. Okay, so she called her Ben Oni. And Oni, what is Oni? So usually the simple explanation of Aven is like tsar, like Yitpardu kol po'alei Aven. That David Melech prays that all of the, we say in the Mizmor Shel Yom HaShabbat, Yitpardu kol po'alei Aven, all of the doers of evil should be dispersed. When Yaakov Avinu was changing Binyamin's name from Ben Oni to Binyamin, so first of all he was noticing that the word Aven, besides having this connotation of tsar, of evil, of badness, it also has a connotation of strength. Like it says by Reuven, that kochi v'reshit oni, that the beginning of my strength, so oni, on can also mean strength. So he was taking that same word that means distress, that means evil. So the same word can be turned around into strength. Because really, why was it that she passed away? She passed away because she had just come into Israel. And because Binyamin is the only one of the tribes that was born in Eretz Israel. It's one of the explanations of the name Binyamin is that he's the ben of Eretz Israel is called Yamin. Eretz Israel is called the right. And so the reason why she passed away is because she had come to Israel. So then once they're in Israel, so then Yaakov Avinu could no longer be married to two wives, to two sisters. So because now they come to Israel, so now they were in a Eretz Yisrael kind of existence. So that's why she passed away. So Yaakov Avinu was looking at the positive. Yaakov Avinu was looking that now we're elevating ourselves to a higher level of existence, and it's true that some things are going to have to change, and it's very sad. But he was looking at the positive. He was looking at the fact that the reason behind Rachel's passing was because now things are getting better. Things are actually taking a turn for kedusha, because now we're coming into the land of Israel. Now, it's getting late, so I want to just finish off that. Getting back to the constellation of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is Mazal Keshet, which is a bower, right? The bow archer. Thank you. He's the archer. Okay, the Sagittarius is the archer. Okay. For some reason, if you look around in different Torah about the month of Kislev, some people think that Keshet means something to do with the rainbow. I didn't see any connection in the sources to Sagittarius having to do with the rainbow. It's true that the rainbow is also called a Keshet, but I don't think that has anything to do with the because if you look at the star structure of the constellation itself, so it's actually an archer. So that's not
the only reason it would get that connotation is because the rainbow is a keshet.
Right. So that's why a rainbow is also called a keshet. But right. But anyway, so what do we have in a bow, in an archer? So I think it's a very beautiful thing that how do you do a bow and arrow? That in order to shoot the bow, you have to pull it in the wrong direction. Right? The only way that I'm going to shoot the arrow is if I pull it the opposite direction of where I want it to go. Right? So that's Mama's Samech Hashem Echal Nefesh, and that I think I'm going backwards. But that's the only way that I'm preparing for takeoff. You know? that I'm getting the tension. This is the potential energy for me to soar. And if I wouldn't be able to go backwards, I wouldn't be able to soar. Okay, this is the only way for me to soar is specifically for me to go backwards. And I look at all my friends that they're all going forwards, and I'm going backwards, and I feel like such a loser. And the truth is that you're going to surpass them. You're going to surpass them by a zillion, and the only way that you're going to surpass them is only because you're going backwards. And that's the secret of the keshet. That's the secret of the now. Mm-hmm. Now, what do we know about Sagittarius? One of the things about Sagittarius is that they need freedom. And they don't like having people in charge of them. They don't like people telling them what to do, and they're always ready for adventures. Yeah, they're very what's the word? They're spontaneous, and they're very light, very whatever. And my English, the past couple of months, my English has taken a turn for the worse. But you see it. So next month, I'm going to be talking like
You'll be writing books. Bestsellers.
So they're the Sagittarius is that they're very cool. They aren't very frozen. They aren't very heavy. They're very excited. They're ready for not aloof. They're very there. They're very present. They're very with it. But they're always in the mood for something exciting. Okay, they're the kinds of people that let's go on a Tiyol to the desert at 5 p.m. today. And there's the people that they're ready. I just saw that there's a good cheap ticket to Greece. Let's go. The people that they're like, what's going to be? Well, no, what do you mean what's going to be? Well, you'll tell your boss that you're taking 2 days off. They're very they're always interested in adventure, and that's the freedom. The freedom of Sagittarius is something that's they're considered like one of the best signs, one of the most fun and pleasant signs to be around is because they're not heavy. because nobody likes heavy people. And so it's very, very pleasant to be around these people that just know how to laugh, know how to take life not so seriously. Okay, so the people who are experts in this ma'at sichlut, which is by the way, when I say sichlut, the sichlut and ksilut is the same word. Right, the ksil means a form, but I keep on saying sichlut because like sometimes there's some words in Hebrew that like keves and kesev. It's just sichlut. Sichlut and ksilut is the same thing. So this ma'at sichlut, this a little bit of foolishness, is something which is absolutely necessary to be pleasant to be around. Okay, the people who are too heavy, people who are too serious, so then they just drive you crazy. Right? So the people who are able to have this ma'at sichlut, they're able to live life with a little bit of just everything sababa. I know that there's this or makif. I know that there's this light surrounding me. I'm able to have bitachon. I'm able to have trust. That these are the people that they just know that everything is going to be okay. Okay, so this is the energy. This is the energy of Kislev. This being able to stop thinking so much, stop being so rational, to know that everything is going to be okay. Hashem has got our back. And that even when things looks like it's back, looks like it's dark, so we're just getting ready for the new excitement. So this is what opens us up for miracles. Okay, this is how Kislev is going to be. It's going to be the month. It's going to be the month of miracles because miracles come. Miracles come when you're able to let go. When you're able to say, okay, I'm not going to be in control right now. I'm gonna just let things play out in a godly way, and it's like I know that if I'm gonna take life so seriously and make sure that I study all the right books to get the whatever, that I know that if it's up to me, so I know I'm gonna fall on my face. Okay, so luckily it's not up to me. Luckily I can just trust in Hashem, and Hashem will do me His miracles. And this is a mamish very, very necessary mentality to have in order to succeed in life, in order to get through. Because life is hard. There's always a lot of darkness. And this is the only way. The only way to survive is darkness. And like we said, that the secret is that there's no such thing as darkness. That there's light, and there's light which is so big that just we don't see it. Okay? But to have this basic trust that everything is good, everything's going to be good, and Hashem has got my back. So this is what allows us to live life with letting go, to live life with sababa, with life with sleeping, let life with dreaming, and to allow ourselves to be privy to these higher levels of consciousness that require us to just turn our brains off a little bit. So, Zat Hashem, Chaim, everybody.
Was this also the power of the Chashmonaim?